Hello, good to see you. Welcome to your yin practice. We are going to be primarily on our backs today. So, our last class we did quite a bit, which involved bending the knees, and if your knees were really sensitive, it might have been too much. So, I'm going to show you some options on your back that will help to relieve tension if you've got it there for this class, but this is really primarily about the upper body. So the spine in general, so that's what this class will be about. So find yourself a prop, something to sit on. I've got my blanket, maybe your towel, or you can sit on a block if you like. Just have your sitting bones sitting there, let your knees settle down. And let's just start with a seated meditation. So you're just going to close your eyes. Those of you that practice with me at home or in the studio know that I do like to start class with some awareness building through our meditation, and especially in this yin class, because this is a very internal practice. It's very quiet and calm, and a great way to relax the body, calm the nervous system. So let's start seated, closing your eyes, sitting up tall, rolling the shoulders back. But then once you find your upright posture, soften just a bit. So softening down into your seat. And just begin to take some breaths that allow the entire body to expand. So feeling the upper body move in and out with each breath. So there's going to be a rise and fall of the chest. The shoulders might lift up as you inhale a bit and then soften down as you exhale. And the better you get at this, you might actually feel the lower ribs start to expand. And then start to notice this space that starts to happen in the back of the head, the skull. You're going to feel a lighter sensation there with the breath. The back of the throat is going to relax. And then the jaw softens. The muscles around the eyes relax a bit. Notice where you're gripping. If you feel sensations in the lower body that are not relaxed. Maybe the glute muscles are a little tense, or the outer hips, inner thighs. So you're just following the cycle of breath as it flows in and out. Riding this full wave of breath. And letting that become the focus for the next hour or so. You'll be moving, but very slowly, very gently. This will be a really great grounding class for the nervous system. So we're just entering in through this calm, shallow breath, or this calm, lengthened breath, excuse me. And 2 more breaths in this seated position. So a nice full inhale through the nose. And a nice smooth exhale as you let it go. Good. And then just let your eyes come open and just slide your prop out from underneath you and just place that off to your side because you'll need that again probably. Let's go ahead and bring our legs straight out in front of us. So just extend the legs. If you know that in Paschimottanasana, a forward fold, you like something under your hips, you could bring your towel or your blanket back underneath to prop you a little bit. And the way to know is if your back is rounding. So if you're really sitting in your back a lot, you need to find a neutral spine. So use the prop underneath your seat to do that. So we're going to move right into a seated forward fold. And for those of you that are really tight or feel compression body to body here, you can open your legs a little wider if that feels more comfortable. So it doesn't necessarily have to be our standard Paschimottanasana. So I'm going to go ahead and just inhale and lengthen the spine and sit up as tall as I can to begin with. And then I'm just going to exhale and slowly start to move into the pose. And I'm going to stop where I feel the edge where I'm not uncomfortable. So I want to stop at the beginning of the sensation. And then turn your chin towards your chest. Arms are going to relax. Breath is going to deepen. So if your breath feels a little constricted, maybe that separation of the legs just a little bit might free up the breath. So maybe the belly's not compressed. And then you're going to allow your body to let you in when it's ready. So there will be small changes that happen in the stretch. So relaxing the entire upper body here. So I'm rounding now my shoulders, my upper back. But if I start to feel any fussiness in the upper back, I'm going to see if maybe I can lengthen the spine by lifting my chin a little bit, and then see if I can hinge at the hip just a little more and soften in again. So trying to find some ease in the upper back. So in the previous yin class, I talked quite a bit, and I'm going to back off of that a little bit so that you can just be with your body. So most of us have done a long held seated forward fold. I'm going to stay in this one for 5 minutes, so this is why we start at the beginning of the stretch. If the back of the knees feel too much, you could always place blocks underneath the back of the knees or a rolled up towel. You could prop the knees a bit. The idea is just to let your body melt here as best you can. Just observing the small changes that happen. So if you've been following the yin classes with me, you know that we're affecting the ligaments, the tendons, and the fascia that support the joints of the body. Large muscle groups are involved here. And the fascia is fibrous and runs through the muscle tissue itself. The ligaments connect bone to bone. Just take a few more breaths here. Sliding your hands to your legs, slowly push into the hands as you rise. So we want to keep that length in the back body. So we try not to engage as we rise in and out of the poses or transition from pose to pose. Bring your hands behind you and just set the feet on the floor, and let's just windshield wiper, just a little massage of the glutes. So just knees side to side, nice and easy. And allow your body to move in whatever way feels really good for you here. So one more upright seated. Let's bring our feet into a butterfly. So butterfly is a little wider than our Baddha Konasana. So actually just have your feet comfortably away from you, whatever feels best to you here. So let's inhale and lift our chest. So you're really feeling the back body, and then you're going to slowly dip yourself forward. And again, stop at the beginning of the stretch where you feel that tugging at the inner thighs. already start to soften the upper body. So we let go of the upright posture. Dropping shoulders, chin. So we are pulling a little more on the back here. So this class will be a combination spine, twisting. So twisting the spine a little bit, hanging out in our twists a little bit longer today. So you only have about 2 more minutes in this pose. So maybe see if you can go to your edge, find your edge. Soften wherever there doesn't need to be any rigidity. Feel your body and know that only the hips are involved here. So what can you do to soften the upper body? And while we're in the pose, we're actually exploring our ability to be with whatever sensation arises. Can we be with the pose without being reactionary? Couple more deep breaths here. Really filling up the breath here. Maybe reaching the fingertips away. Getting a little more out of the outer hips. And then slowly start to bring your fingertips back. Walk yourself up slow. Feel that surge of energy up the spine, right into the head that happens. Good. And then from here, let's just work the shoulders a little bit. So let's lift our shoulders up towards our ears and then just let them come back down. So just squeezing and lowering, up and down, up and down. Let's do a side bend with the neck. So reach up and clasp with your left hand the outer edge of the right temple, and let's just do a little neck pull here, nice and gentle. Moving my right shoulder down. And then obviously you could tilt your chin. I like to tilt my chin towards my chest and stretch. So I'm reaching my right hand away. And then keeping your head right where it is, do not lift it up. Remove your hand. Then gently pick up your head. Let's take the other side. Right hand up to outer left temple. Tilt the head to the right. Extend the left hand out. Tilt to the chin towards the chest and feel the stretch there. Keep dropping your left shoulder. Keeping your head right where it is, remove your right hand. Slowly lift your head. Pause. Notice. And feel. From here, we're going to make our way to our backs. So scoop up the back of the knees. Allow yourself to come all the way back. Snap, crackle, pop. Let's draw the knees into the chest. And if that means your knees need to be wide of the body, you can do that. So when you move in your practice, you're finding space where you can find it. If your body's in the way or you're feeling tight in the joints, you're going to do something that satisfies what your body needs. So from here, I'm going to take my hands to my knees and I'm going to move my knees away from my body just for a moment. My hands are on my kneecaps, and then I'm just going to draw some circles with my knees. So keeping the knees together, just drawing some circles around. Yeah, just letting the low back release because we did 2 forward folds back to back there. So that was intense. And then change directions. And the more you do this practice, the more you'll think, gee, I could have stayed another 5 minutes. Let's stay longer. Yeah, it happens, I promise. Good. From here, let's let our left foot come to the floor. Let's take our right leg up towards the sky and I interlace my fingers around my hamstring and I'm just going to rotate my right ankle. So I'm just going to make big circles with my foot in both directions. So, about 5 in one direction and then switch. You'll know when your body is ready to switch and transition. Beautiful. And then let's cross the shin over the left thigh. So right shin over left thigh. Pick up your legs, bring them towards you for sleeping pigeon. So I'm going to interlace my fingers around my hamstrings. And I'm going to draw my legs towards me. Drop your shoulders back. Close your eyes. Notice sensations in the body. That was a little too much of a happy music there, wasn't it? It was great for a flow class. So in your pigeon, if you're feeling any sensation in your right knee, you're going to flex your right ankle. Your right. Yes. That'll give you less sensation there. So then while you're here, you could drop your shoulders back. And for those of you that are really flexible, you could actually scoop up your shin with your elbows, like a little forklift, and lay back here and be in pigeon on the ground, on the back, supporting the shin. It's pretty intense though, so I'm going to switch back to my regular sleeping pigeon. You're relaxing your left shin down. So there's no effort in the left leg. The sensation is solely on the right outer hip, maybe the right hamstring and glutes as well. Soften face, jaw, and eyes. Notice the quality of your breath. Notice if you're gripping around the neck, the chest. Just a couple more breaths here. So this is the position you would come to if your knees are fussy and we're doing regular pigeon where we're upright and we're leaning onto the leg. If you're having sensitivity in the knee or in your ankle or wherever you might be feeling it, come to your backs and do this version. This is much more gentler, and there's no point in working through pain. If you're having pain, it's a sign that your body's telling you not to do something. So this is your option. Okay, slowly let your left foot come back to the floor. Okay. Take your right leg up to the sky. Flex and point and rotate the ankle a couple of times. So just flex and point. And then from here, you're actually going to cross your right knee over your left. We're going to move into a twist. Take your arms out wide beside you, palms turned to face up. Press down through the left foot. Pick up your hips and move them to the right. And slowly roll to your left side. I want the right arm extended, palm turned to face up, but your head can turn into whatever direction you like. If for any reason this is too much, you would straighten your bottom leg and just place your right foot on top of your left leg. So you could just be in the easy twist. So it's a little more intense to twist like this with the leg crossed over. So if your knees are sensitive, try maybe flexing the right ankle. That helps too. And then try maybe taking your right shoulder back towards the ground to back off just a little bit in the twist. And then start to notice your breath. No benefit to holding your breath here. And we're going to stay in this twist for at least another 3 or 4 minutes. So just hang out, back off if you need to, but stay if you can, as long as we are here. And let's actually pick up our right hand and start to make some big, wide circles with our hand and our arm. So I'm going to really reach the hand over and around. So it's like I'm freeing up this space in the shoulder girdle, the rotator cuff, the pectoral muscle. So big, wide, sweeping circles all the way around to the best of your ability, sort of discovering how much mobility you have in this joint. And then change the direction of the circle and do that sweeping action about 3 times on the other side. So just going nice and easy. And then extending it out wide again. And taking about 3 cycles of breath here. Relax the left glute, the left butt cheek. It's probably gripping, right? Trying to hold you in this position. Can you relax it? And then I'm actually going to untuck my right foot and slowly start to straighten my right leg. So do not come out of the twist. I'm just going to straighten it a little bit. Maybe reach down with my left hand and hold on. A little deeper twist. And then I want you to take your outer right hip and move it down towards the end of your mat. So you're actually kind of creating that space in the low back. Just taking a few more deep breaths here. We'll be here very briefly, so breathe big here. Notice where it might feel good to engage a little bit if you need it. Sometimes we're stabilizing the joint a little bit when we engage, so it's okay to do that. And then slowly start to bend your right knee and come back to neutral. Bring your hips back to square on the mat. Pause. Observe sensations on the right side of the body. Observe sensations on the left side of the body. Good. Take your left leg up towards the sky. Maybe interlace your fingers around the hamstring and flex and point. Just flex and point. We're not really stretching our hamstrings here. We're just really finding some mobility of the left ankle. Feels good to flex and point. You can spread the toes. And you're going to feel, a little heat fire up in the joint when you move it. Good. And then cross the left shin over the right thigh. Pick up legs and move them toward your chest. Interlace your fingers around your right thigh. hamstring. Lean back, relax your shoulders, and find your most comfortable sleeping pigeon. Again, flexing your left ankle if you need it. And also notice if you're actually on your ankle as it's crossed over. Can you move it over a little more so you're on the shin instead of the ankle? Sometimes we're so tight we can't really get it over, and that's okay. But if you're on the ankle itself, you're probably putting pressure there, and it might feel fussy. Relax your right leg. Drop back. Melt. Feel your skin just melt. Relax your right shoulder. Relax your left shoulder. Maybe you can draw the legs a little closer to you. Keep stretching. Those of you that wanted that advanced version, you could scoop up the shin with your elbows, like a little forklift, and place your right foot on the floor, and that'll give you a deeper sensation. Couple more breaths. And then just let the leg come back to the thigh if you took it away, if you're advancing the pose. Pause. Start to slide the left knee right over the right. So now the legs are like crossed, and then press down through your right foot, pick up your hips, slide them to the left. Maybe walk your right foot to the left a little bit as you slowly move into twisting to the right. Knees to the right, left arm extends. Find the sweet spot for your neck, your head, that feels the most restorative. Maybe flex your left ankle. Really just extending the arm out and just letting the chest start to get used to the idea of the stretch before we start our movement. And also notice the unwinding of the musculature around your ribs. You can feel the body start to let you in a little bit. And then start to relax the gripping that's unnecessary here. Just keeping your eyes closed so you can really observe the sensations. And then when you're ready, let's start to make those big circles with our left arm. So I'm going to sweep it around, just kind of circles across the body. Finding your best range of motion. Change directions. So in Chinese medicine, there are these meridian lines that run up and down the body. And through our compression, stretching, lengthening, we're actually stimulating these meridian lines, creating better health in the organs and the systems of the body. There are meridian lines all over, so not every one practice just affects one particular meridian line. And then come back to center and just pause in the stretch again. The arm extended away. Through this, the practice of yin, we get to observe and learn a little bit more about the subtle energy systems, taking time to learn about our lymphatic system, and the Chinese energy meridian lines. Good, and then slowly start to support yourself with your feet and your core. Use your core, engage it. Come back up to center, square your hips, untuck, pause. And notice how you feel. From here, I actually want you to extend your legs down. And let's sweep our hands up and overhead. And you're going to either let's actually clasp our right wrist with our left hand. Okay? And I'm going to actually pick up my body and I'm going to move my chest to the left a little bit and move my legs to the left a little bit. So I'm stretching the whole right side of the body. This is called Banana Asana. And I'm going to pick up my left leg, or my left ankle, and cross it over my right to kind of hold my legs in place. And if that's not possible, just keep the legs together. But you're really stretching the whole right side because you picked up your shoulders, moved them to the left, and you picked up your feet, moved them to the left, and your butt stayed right where it was, your pelvis. So you are having to hold on here, and a little bit of energy is being spent here. You can always back out a little if you need it, and then go back in if it feels good. So your pelvis is trying to stay square on the mat, meaning level. You can still feel your sacrum. So now we're laterally stretching the spine to the side. Trying not to hold your breath here. Can be pretty intense, especially if you have really tight shoulders, but you could experiment with bending the elbows a little bit. You don't have to have your arms straight here. You could bend your elbows. Forgot to mention that. So we reached them overhead to clasp hold over the wrists, but then if you need to soften, make the pose your own. Follow the guidelines I'm giving you, and then if you need to adjust, do that. Stay for a couple more breaths. Start to release the hand, nice and easy. Maybe bring your hands by your side. Start to walk your feet back over to center. Start to walk your feet to the right. So first walk your feet. Notice where your feet can go, as far as they can go to the right, while your pelvis is still on the ground. And then let's reach up and clasp hold of, maybe you could even grab the left elbow if that feels better for you. You decide if you want to grab the forearm, the left wrist. The left wrist is definitely a little more intense. So if you grabbed maybe the left elbow, and then if you want, you could stack your left ankle on top of the right, but that's not necessary. You could just be neutral here. And maybe notice the difference between one side and the other. Did you move your shoulders over to the right a little bit? If you can, move them to the right, your whole upper body. You want to feel a pretty deep stretch here of the whole side body. Soften your shoulders. Find your deep breath. Maybe turn the corners of your mouth up into a little smile. Two more breaths here. And slowly drop your left shoulder back. Release your hands down by your side. Crawl your feet to the center of your mat. And lean back and feel the beautiful release. Maybe flex and point the feet, maybe rotate the ankles. Draw your knees into your chest. Let's release the low back. Side to side movement. Happy baby pose. Sliding the knees wide, clasping hold of the ankles or the outer edges of the feet as you draw your knees wide of the body. Let your body move back. Relax the head, the neck, the shoulders. Let's stay here for a minute or so, okay? So if you need to slide your hands to ankles, that's fine, but see if you can stay here. Let's create more space. Let the arms hang a little bit. I like to shake them out. This pose actually helps us in our standing poses if we're doing Warrior Two. Helps us to externally rotate when we need to. So we need to get in here and open up. Stay for a few more breaths. Great, and then bring the soles of the feet together. Bring the feet then back down. Let's go for Baddha Konasana here. So the feet are going to come together and the knees are going to go wide, so the inner thighs may be a little bit open for that now since we just did Happy Baby. So bring the knees wide. If it feels good, reach up and clasp hold of your elbows. So I'm going to take my hands overhead and I'm going to reach for my elbows. So my elbows are bent. I'm just clasping one elbow with one hand and the other with the other. Trying to soften. This is probably one of the most challenging poses for me. Maybe it is for you. Maybe you really love this. But I feel really tight on the ligaments here inside of the pelvic bowl. So a lot of sensation for me here. If you're feeling sharp pain, you may come out, but if you're just feeling agitated, like, oh, when can we leave this pose, then stay for just a bit because we're only going to be here for 1 minute. Notice how the body will slowly start to give up its resistance. Like my outer thighs are saying, nope, 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 I'm not going to let go. I'm not going to let go. I'm going to keep gripping. About 3 or 4 more cycles of breath. Just breathe. Letting go of your elbows, reaching your hands down to outer thighs. Let's pick up the legs, so kind of assist the legs to come back, knees to come back to center. Start to extend the legs out. Just extending. Turn your palms to face up. Closing your eyes. You could actually turn the toes in to touch and then let them roll out. And then do that a couple times. So toes roll in to touch each other, big toes, and then back out. One more time in and out. Back body softens. Breath deepens. The mouth, the jaw, the skin of the face and the eyes. Just release. Just allowing the complete experience of the class to be absorbed now. couple of deep breaths here. Just fill up the lungs. Full capacity breath, and then let it go. Give me that one more time. Inhale. Good. And exhale, let it go. Slowly roll to your side. As a way to sit up. Pausing there for a moment. And then when you're ready, maybe with your eyes still closed, just press into the palms and slowly rise up. Come to seated. Always taking a little snapshot of the before and after. Seeing if you can acknowledge that. Let's just close our palms in front of our heart for Anjali Mudra. I'm wishing you and yours love, peace, happiness, wellness, all of those things in these moments. Namaste.